Welcome to the Verdant Verdict. Today we're going to break down LSU's 2022 football schedule. I personally think the Tigers are in for a big season. I think they can get double-digit wins. I think this is the year that LSU can make it happen. BK Takeover came in and he did what he said he would. LSU in 2021 had a rough going, I believe. 6-7, 2-4 in the SEC West. They had to go out and fire Coach O, hire Coach Kelly. The offense struggled. Defense struggled here and there, but you had guys filling in big roles, filling in big shoes that they've never had to fill in before. The guys stepped up to the plate whenever the time got rough. We interviewed friend of the show, Mason Smith, and he told us more of the same, and he kind of let us into the mindset and what Coach Armstrong was telling the guys when all hell was breaking loose.
We didn't have the experience as a team to beat them. And I think what Coach O was preaching us was next man up, and a lot of dudes that didn't play a lot during the season had to step up because we had a lot of dudes ineligible for different reasons. And we had a lot of dudes going to the draft. So a lot of dudes had to play a bigger role than they've ever played.
LSU had a major overhaul in the coaching room. Brian Kelly brought in Mike Denbrock for the offensive coordinator side, and then you got Matt House for the defensive side. LSU's stacked in terms of coaching, which leads me to the scheme part of the situation. Cortez Hankton stayed at LSU to put emphasis on that wide receiver U position. You got Jack Bech in 2022 at the wide receiver position, practicing with the wide receivers, getting wide receiver knowledge. He's going to be quicker, faster, stronger, and more intelligent. Jack Bech is only going to get better. LSU will only do the same. I think that tool paired with the healthy Kayshon Boutte, I got to see Kayshon go out at the Manning Passing Academy and light up the field. With Cortez Hankton, he's got a lot of tools. And you know what happens when you give an intelligent coach a lot of tools? They win championships. You got a lot of intelligent coaches at LSU right now, and you got a lot of talent at LSU right now. Cortez Hankton thinks highly of his guys. I spoke to Cortez Hankton at the beginning of the spring camp where he had high praise for Jack Bech and for his other receivers. Listen here.
Well, first off, Jack is just one of those guys who is extremely tough, plays fast all the time, and he just loves the game of football. Well, really with any of these guys, man, it's just their nature to want to compete. And when you have as many talented guys in a room, and you have a fresh set of eyes, so it's like I'm evaluating all of these guys for the first time on the grass. You know, there's excitement in that. There's excitement in a fresh start.
With the coaches bought into their schemes and the coordinators loving their guys, LSU seems to be on the right path to success. I think LSU this year has the potential to win double-digit games. Let's go ahead and dive into this season and look at the schedule and look at when LSU is going to put the smackdown on some of these opponents. We're going to open things up with a surprise event. We're going to be playing in the Superdome, playing Florida State. I'm happy to be playing Florida State because a good friend of mine, friend of the show, Ja'Kai Douglas, is going to be there, and it's going to be great to see number 0 meet number 0 Mason Smith. Both of these guys went to my high school, Terrebonne High School. Got to play football alongside of him, and man, it was a really good experience to just see both of these guys grow up into what they've been growing into. Florida State, though, no chance beating LSU. That's a dub in the first game. We're going to go bring it back to Baton Rouge. LSU's going to open up against Southern at home. That's a smush fest. Now we know who our quarterback is by week 2, I'd say. And why is that important that we know who our quarterback is in week 2? Because when we move to week 3, now we got SEC conference play. We got Mississippi State. And you know what we're opening up SEC conference play with? A W. We're moving on to New Mexico. What are we doing to the New Mexico Lobos? Smashing them just like we smashed Southern. Just like we smashed Miss State. Just like we smashed Florida State. New Mexico's getting that work. Now we're moving to Auburn. Here's where things get tricky. First challenge of 2022. 2021, Auburn beat LSU at home at the end of the game. It was a nail-biter. I was sitting there in the stands filming everything. I can almost recall that Max Johnson interception vividly. I can almost exactly tell you what I was doing when I saw that ball get intercepted. Look, Max Johnson's a nice guy. I'm just a little disappointed in how that game ended. You're in luck, though. Why? 2022, we can take it on Auburn. And you know what we're going to do in Auburn? We're going to get our revenge. We're going to get a dub in your house. But except it's not going to be close. It's going to be a smush. Bring it back to Baton Rouge. Just play Peyton Manning's home ball. Tennessee Volunteers are coming down to Tiger Stadium to do what? Lose. LSU starting off 6-0. 6-0. If you don't agree, leave a comment why. I'm listening. Leave a comment why if you don't think LSU started 6-0. I don't think that they're going to play a tough team that's going to be able to dismantle them. Yeah, Auburn is going to be a good team, but dude, Bo Nix, nope. Finley, not the answer. You don't have anything. You don't have any answer for LSU. LSU's coming loaded, and man, y'all are playing them after 4 games, 4 W's at that. They know what they're doing. They got momentum. They're ready. This the first big game, first big road game, first big SEC West game. Dude, we can keep going on and on and on about how important this game is, and the Tigers are going to show up. And I'm talking about the LSU Tigers, not the phony Auburn Tigers. Go get your own mascot. We're going to move on to the University of Florida, and here's where things get tricky. We're going to go down to Gainesville, and man, we know Gainesville is tough. It's home of one of the best college football teams of all time when you talk about the Tim Tebow Gators. We did the Tiger Chomp in Tiger Stadium last year, but man, that Gator Chomp is going to be back in the swamp. They might reclaim, and I think that's going to be the first L. 6-1 for LSU. When LSU goes to Gainesville, they don't fare out well, as you can see. With Ole Miss next on the schedule, LSU will have a good bounce-back game. And it's going to be necessary because if Ole Miss takes this one, that puts LSU on a 2-game skid going into that Alabama game. And yeah, bye week will separate them from Alabama. But do you want to walk in to the Alabama game at home on November 6th on a 2-game losing streak? No, you don't. Beat Ole Miss. Beat Ole Miss. Walk into Tiger Stadium with your chin held high and go see that Heisman winning quarterback Bryce Young behind center. Go try to get him. You got several opportunities to beat this team, and if you do it, if LSU can defeat Alabama at home next season, that might be the feather in the cap that'll lead them to the college football playoff. They can get double-digit wins, and a win against Alabama, who will probably debut at number 1 in the country. Woo! You head into that top 4, and what happens when you're in that top 4? Now you're voted in that playoff. It don't matter where you are once you're in. LSU just needs to make sure that they do what's necessary to win. If you're going to lose to Florida, you got to make up for it to Bama, in my opinion, to make you crack into that top 4. Look, if they don't, we'll see what happens. I feel like that Alabama game will be rough for LSU. Alabama's firing all cylinders. They were in the national championship last year. Bryce Young has utmost confidence. That Nick Saban-Bryce Young connection is something crazy. I'd argue Bryce Young's Nick Saban's best quarterback yet. Then LSU's going to have 2 bounce-back games. We're going to play UAB. Sleeper. That might be a 50-point bomb. I could go in that quarterback for that one. I can go behind. I could even probably throw 3 touchdowns. We're going to go ahead and go to Arkansas. We're going to go to Arkansas, and, man, I hope we win because we did not win when Arkansas came to us. Last year against Arkansas, we saw Garrett Nussmeier get his first couple reps in the SEC. Arkansas's a mean team in terms of physicality. Nussmeier believes he's learned from it, and he has all the tools capable to push LSU to success. Here's what Nuss said.
Yeah, I mean, I think I learned a lot last year getting to play in some big games and some big moments. I've always been the type of kid that loves those type of moments, so getting to experience them in the SEC, as a true freshman was awesome. I took different parts and pieces from each game into my bag for now, I guess you could say. And having Coach Kelly's been awesome.
Final game of the year is going to be kind of a new rivalry, I would say. After that 7 overtime game, it seems like some emotions were stirring up. Then you bring Jimbo Fisher to Tiger Stadium last year in Coach O's last game, and we get a shot clock cheese win. We can knock off Texas A&M. We got some problems this year, though. When LSU faces Texas A&M in 2022, it's not the same team that they defeated the year prior. That team has a number 1 recruiting class now. That team will have home field advantage. That team will also be hungry for revenge. Will the Aggies let the Tigers go in there and decimate them? I don't think so. The 2022 football season for the LSU Tigers will be challenging, but it looks promising. Brian Kelly's in his first year at LSU, but he's the most established head coach that LSU's ever hired. Also, the last 3 head coaches that LSU have hired left LSU with a national championship ring on their finger. Brian Kelly won't be the odd one out of the group. Matter of fact, he might be the only one to win multiple there. I'm confident in my LSU Tigers. I think that I'm going to see some big things, and I'm excited to cover it. Y'all subscribe, like, and follow our socials for more exclusive coverage. We'll be sidelining all these games. Every game that we just talked about will be there, up close and personal. Go check out the TikTok at Vernon Verdict, link in bio. Y'all can see some more up close and personal videos like this. For more exclusive coverage of LSU's quarterback situation, click here to watch our video where we interviewed 3 of the 4 quarterbacks in the quarterback competition. This has been the Vernon Verdict. Thanks for watching.